Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Ruud Grim from the Netherlands Space Office, and I'm welcome you to our site event, Embedding Earth Observation Initiatives in Localized Contexts for Financial Sustainability, involving smallholder farmers, food producers, and local governments. So it's a long title, and we have one co-host for today, which is Mark Noord from HPC International. And we have a few speakers. So Laurent Verstraeten. He is helping me with the presentation. Laurent, can you give me the next slide, please? So please mute yourself. And if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the chat and we will try to pick them up during after the presentations and in the panel discussion. And the presentations will be shared, of course, on the G4AW website, but also on the GEO website. Next slide, please. So we are hosting today this event. Next slide, please. And we will have 4 short presentations from organizations in Africa delivering services to different clients, including smallholders, businesses, and governments. And they will explain what they are doing. But let me first introduce you, let's say, the background of the 3, let's say, initiatives where all these presentations are coming from. Next slide, please. So we are, in fact, from 3 initiatives. It's the Geodata for Agriculture and Water program, which is coordinated by the Netherlands Space Office and funded by the Netherlands Ministry of Finance. And we have 2 European Commission projects, Agricultures and Twiga. G4AW is, in fact, supporting partnerships in developing services for smallholder farmers. And we support 25 partnerships in 15 developing countries. Agricultures is about enhancing food security in Africa with Earth observation, and Twiga is about transforming water and climate information through in situ observations in Africa. So we come from different, let's say, perspectives and backgrounds, but we all serve the same goal, and that is increasing food security. Next slide, please. And just to give you a flavor of all the different services, you see some examples of the projects in the G4AW program where we are making use of Earth observation combined with other geodata and in situ measurements. They are used in crop modeling services, in services that are used for index-based insurance. And what you see is that the way to connect with farmers is completely different depending on the context. In Mali and in West Africa, we make use of call centers. In other countries in Africa, basic phones are used. And let's say in more advanced countries, also feature phones are used. So this is just to give you a flavor of the type of services that are being developed in the different partnerships. Next slide, please. So today we focus on the importance of the local actors in the local context, looking at the local needs, the local users and clients, and what is most important, all these initiatives are pilot project financed. And at the end of the project, we really strive to have an organizational and financial sustainability. Next slide, please. So we are going to share some insight of the different projects in these programs. And of course, we hope that the different insights will also inspire you and to make use of the insights in your own initiatives. And of course, in the panel discussions, we hope to come to some conclusions on what we have learned today. So I think we can now go to the first speaker, and this is Akua Benewa from Solidaridad, and she is going to present the Set for Business project in Ghana. Akua, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I would go straight to my pitch. So, Satellite for Business was developed to provide bankable propositions to local microfinance institutions with agri financing portfolios within hard to reach rural communities. This we are currently doing by aggregating profiles of de-risked, locally based smallholder farmers, and these farmers are currently our main users of our solutions. Next slide, please. To ensure we create value and are cost efficient, we leverage on existing local partnership to deliver our value proposition, such as leveraging on the local government structures like the extension providers who are also working with government, indigenous farm service companies who have set up operations within the farming communities. They provide farm improvement and advisory services. They also provide data of their farmers, and they have invest heavily in the sustainability of their farmers. So these are some of the local structures that we partner and work with, and we deliver our solutions through their operations. Our geodata services that seeks to de-risk smallholder farmers, including the deforestation risk maps that we provide, the deforestation monitoring, access to market maps, for example, the location of a mill and where they are sourcing their best fruits from, weather information, and then some on-farm activities like density, and then disease infestations like armyworm are all detected and are embedded in the farm improvement models, and then the advisory services that we provide to these smallholder farmers. Also, we embed these geodata services in the credit scoring methodology that we develop for the microfinancial institutions. We believe that a robust integrated platform with an affordable cost structure will
Next
create
slide,
value
Wilma.
for. Yes, next slide, please. We believe that a robust integrated platform with an affordable cost structure will create value for our local actors who are willing to pay for the SAT for business services. Next slide. We cannot be sustainable with our local partners because our business case is built with them. So we cherish their inputs a lot, and we do regular engagement with them. We engage them in a lot of functionality workshops, design workshops, and then we take them along the user journey. So, for example, Ruth was mentioning the USSD platform because most of our users use basic and feature phones. So, we are able to reach them with our solutions through the USSD platform. We take constant feedback from them through our call center, and then we carry out user satisfaction surveys on a regular basis to take their input in terms of the efficiency and the effectiveness of the delivery of our services. They are happy with our solutions because we are able to create the outreach, especially for financial institutions who are looking at bankable investments that they can provide financing to. We have experienced some successes with some of these local banks by achieving about 96% repayment rate within their agri lending portfolios since they started this journey with us. Currently, we are building a database of 500,000 prospective clients within the cocoa, oil palm, cereals, and legumes sector in Ghana. Beyond that,
Nora,
we are
next slide.
looking at. Sorry?
Next slide, I think.
Yes, final slide, sorry. Beyond that, we are looking at a total addressable market of about 6 million smallholder farmers in West Africa. Out of this, 2 million are within hard to reach communities. Our scale up ambition is to provide these clients within hard to reach communities with affordable bundled services that will make them more sustainable, bankable, and access financial services to invest in their farms. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Akua. So people can have a look at this slide, which concludes on the Set for Business project. Then I give the floor to Mark Noord, introducing the next pitch.
Yeah, thanks, Ruud. The next pitch will be by Lilia Benzi. Lilia is a communication expert. She's responsible for communication and gender strategy in the Sahara and Sahel Observatory based in Tunis. In Tunisia, and together with Evans Zungrana, her colleague who's a specialist in remote sensing and GIS, she's going to present a pilot. I think that's very promising in terms of impact, and that takes place as one of the 8 pilots in the Agricultures project, which is a project sponsored by the European Commission in the H2020 program on food security in Africa with the help of remote sensing. Yeah. Lilia, please go ahead. Thanks.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. I'm speaking today on behalf also of my colleague Evans, as you told it before, and I will show you some information about the role of local partners in the sustainability of the services and business model for the agriculture project. And especially the case of Tunisia, as you said, because Tunisia has been chosen for agriculture with 4 pilot sites. Okay, why do local partners, and who are they, first of all? So the local partners with which we worked in this project are especially institutions, government institutions, and end users. These institutions and end users are involved in monitoring crops and estimating yields. They are also involved in valorizing remote sensing products because they are using them in support to crop condition and states. And also these partners are involved in monitoring and draft early warning. So these partners are specifically the National Center of Cartography and Remote Sensing in Tunisia, and the CRDAs. It means the commissioner in the local countries. I mean, these are people who are directly in contact with the farmers, and they have helped us very much, and also a couple of other institutions who are involved in remote sensing. I mean, in NRCREF, INGC, ONAGRI. So I will not give you the details. So it was very good experience with these partners, because they discovered the OSS more in remote sensing, and it was a very good experience. So why are they important? I think that these are key actors, and really they can influence the agriculture sector and guide effective decision making to achieve food security. They are also involved in the data processing chain, and they helped us to produce some maps. And they are also involved in production of agriculture statistics. They are, as I told you, in contact with producers in the field, with farmers, and they are able to convince the high-level decision makers to get interested in the remote sensing services. They are also able to mobilize resources for investing them in a business model. Really, these people are very much involved, and you can see in the pictures, these are people who are from the National Cartography and Remote Sensing on the left side, and the other one is really someone who is leading the farmers in a region of Kairouan, one of the 4 pilot sites. Which is important also to notice here, that we can of course, better involve stakeholders at various levels. For the first perspective that we think, Evans and me, that is important that to analyze the specific needs and to provide well-tailored resources and products. This is also what we made in Agriculture project in Tunisia. We worked together with the public institutions to develop maps, thematic maps on growth of the yields, and we made also the land use map of Tunisia. Which is also important as in our mind is to provide them with very good quality products and services which fit their needs, and it's also the case for these maps that I told you about. And also for me specifically, because I am communication officer, it's important to communicate the success use cases and success stories. And this is what we are trying to do on the next workshop that we are organizing at in December, the 2 and 3 of December in Tunis. The capacity building also for us is very, very important to ensure the services use, the maintenance and administration, and to propose to them business model, and it will help them to contribute to the sustainability of the resources. Here, I can also tell you that we will present during the next workshop a new a platform, a geospatial platform, specially dedicated to agriculture. And if needed, we will have to build more capacity for all these stakeholders that I told you about, so they can use better this platform and to participate also to give some inputs in this platform. So I think perhaps I spoke too speed. I was too speed, but it is the end of my presentation. So I will thank to Evans because he's for the moment in Abidjan for another very big forum about GIS, and so thank you very much.
Thanks, Lilia. Now I hand over to Ruud again, in the sake of time. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Mark, and thank you, Lilia. The next speaker is Mango Estavao Mambi, and he is going to speak about a G4AW project in Angola. Please introduce yourself, Mango.
Yeah, good morning, Oren. So, this is Mango from Angola. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh,
Yes,
this is
we hear
Mango
you.
from Angola, representing on behalf of the Mavo Diami project team. So, you can go to the next slide, please. So, this is Angola. Angola has about 58 million hectares available for agriculture, of which 35 million is Arabic land, and only 15% of this is currently cultivated. So of this Arabic land, also 20% is suitable for irrigation. So Angola was self-sufficient before the beginning of the civil war, and was exporter of many food crops, and was producer of many food crops and exporter of cash crops, which collapsed during the civil war. After the civil war in 2002, attempts have been made to bring back agriculture where it was before, but the country is not yet to the level that is supposed to be. Government has invested a lot in large-scale agriculture and relatively low in small-scale agriculture, which contributes to 82.5% of the current country agriculture production. So we see that a small increase in production of this segment would give a big impact, not only to the local production, but also to improving the lives of the most vulnerable people that the project intends to serve. So we have, I think, from the satellite information, this can play a major role in improving the production of the smallholder farmers. That's slide 2. To avoid the losses, and if farmers can receive plot or land specific information on when it will rain and whether it will continue to rain for that specific location, the farmers can then plan when and what to plant to avoid losses that they have during the production period. And also the link, if we go to slide 3, please, the link to the agro-entrepreneurs, the creation of the agro-entrepreneurship association for the country would also make the connection of the farmers to the buyers and the input providers to the buyers, which would also reduce the loss that the farmers have after their production. So if we go to slide 4, we see that this is not being done by the implementer alone. We are not doing this as a project alone, but we're doing this with the partners, experts from the Netherlands, who are in remote sensing, and then the business order. This is a new initiative in Angola, the CRES Initiative Network, which is going to provide this information to the farmers. Just to for your information, that Angola has come out from war recently, and the smallholder farmers mostly hold simple phones, not smartphones. So for Angola, we adapt information for even simple phone holders and smartphone holders to have access to the information that will de-risk their practices in agriculture. So we are also doing this with the implementer locally and the supporting office of World Vision in Angola and the Netherlands. Thank you.
Okay, Mango, thank you very much for this presentation. And then, Mark, you will introduce the last speaker.
Yes, the last speaker before we start the panel discussion is Frank Anor. Frank is the CEO of TAMO and a postdoctoral researcher at Delft University of Technology. TAMO does many things, but one of the main activity is increasing the network of meteorological stations in Africa. And TAMO is also a partner in the TWIGA project, which is also a project sponsored by the European Commission in the framework of the Horizon 2020 program. And although Frank's mainstays are Ghana and the Netherlands, he has worked in many countries in Africa. So, Frank, please, the floor is yours. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mark, and it's a privilege to be here. So I present on TWIGA, which is transforming water, weather, and climate information through institute observations for geoservices in Africa. So what we are doing is combining data from different sources, right from satellite to sensors that are installed in the field. So here we show how we can either upscale or downscale models and validate them. And there's a lot of technology involved here. So when we developed the services and came up with the idea, we actually started with end users, including grassroots users. And here we involved them in the value creation through the co-design approach, identifying what needs to be resolved, the issues, how does the solution that we come up with fit within the market, and then also how do we scale. So here we're looking at value creation, value capture, and sustainability of the services that are being developed. Can I go to the next slide, please? So these are some of the sensors that we've developed within TWIGA and at different technology readiness levels and are being used for the services that we have. The nice thing is that TWIGA is made up of both SMEs, universities or academia and also other research institutions. So it really helps us to be able to easily bring our services to the market because there are already SMEs that are involved locally in the service provision. Next slide, please. Now, what we realize is that as we provide services for various end users, especially when you look at smallholder farmers, their needs are diverse and are multiple. So you cannot just provide one service and that ends it. So what we have done is that we have provided a platform that is agile, that enables microservices. And so through this, we can couple or what we call bundle services together to meet end users' needs. And we have a continuous interaction with the end users because they help us to shape or fine tune the services that we are developing for them. And we do this through multiple channels. So also in previous presentation, you've seen that various people need various channels for communication. And we see that to be the case also. And therefore, we sort of use multiple channels, including the use of USSDs, emails, SMS. So whether you're using a feature phone or a smartphone, it doesn't really matter. We are able to reach you. And then for more advanced users, we have APIs and dashboards that they can easily connect to. The next slide, please. And so here, when you want to really scale your services, it is very difficult to do that yourself because you cannot engage with individual farmers. So what we have done is we've been able to work through integrators and other value chain players to be able to easily scale the services that we have. So they're already providing services to some end users. You tap in with your own service, and then it becomes a chain of services that are being rendered. And then also you have the liberty and then the what we'll say the government backing, especially when we work with government. So that is very important for legitimacy issues. So that is what I want to say for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Thanks a lot. Now we go over to Ruud for the start of the panel discussion. Thanks, Ruud.
Okay, thank you, Frank, and thank you, Mark. So if people have any questions, please put them in the chat and we try to address them later on in the chat. For the panel discussion, we have prepared a few questions. And the first questions I would like to address to Mango and Akua. And the question is as follows. In what ways do you rely on local stakeholders, partners in achieving long-term sustainability? So, Mango, could you please provide us with a short answer to this question?
If we intend to ensure sustainability by involving stakeholders, so basically we involve stakeholders right from the beginning on how the services are supposed to be designed for.
Okay, Mango, I have to interrupt you because your connection is now too bad to hear. Maybe it is an idea maybe to disconnect and come back again, and maybe we have a better connection. And I first want to give the floor to Akua, and then we try to come back to you again. Sorry?
Okay. Is it better now?
Now, give it a try again.
Okay, so I was saying that we are involving our partners right from the beginning to design the services or what that we want to for Angola. So the partners are involved in the design of the services so that they own the services that are being designed for Angola. And also the creation of the rural agro entrepreneurship network that all the partners are being involved and are contributing to, that the agents can connect the farmers, the buyers, the input providers together and the transport. So we hope with this, and also the private sector, we have some big firms that are being involved in that, that are also with their own funds investing into the initiative. And we hope with this, we guarantee sustainability. When the project ends, the services can continue for the farmers.
Okay, thank you very much, Akua. Can you please now provide an answer?
Thank you, Ruth. Our solutions are more data driven. And so currently we rely on local service providers that have local infrastructure and interface with our users to provide us with the data that we need to provide the tailor-made services. Because before that, we realized that the cost of data provision and access was very high. But with our local partners, we are able to cut the cost of more than 50% currently. Additionally, to ensure we are more sustainable, and we have set up a company, a local fintech called GreenCred, which is the spin-off from the Satellite for Business project. Because to be able to provide these services within the space, we need to find a way to be more sustainable and not rely on grants. So GreenCred will provide these commercial services to our customers and our users, using local clients to ensure that we are more sustainable and we are able to scale and achieve our ambitions. Additionally, GreenCred has secured the data protection license to operate in Ghana. And so we are collecting data using user data protection and local laws and regulations to ensure that our farmers are highly protected. And so we are able to be much more professional in our services. Do I have more time to go on?
No, I think thank you very much. I think we have some other questions, and I would like also to give the floor to other presenters.
Thank
So maybe we have time at the end. So we will see if we still have time. Then I have a second question, and I address this question to Frank Lilia. In what ways do you rely on local stakeholders and partners in scaling of your services?
Okay, thanks, Ruth. So in Trigger, I would say that it depends on the type of service. So we have, for example, production of public goods, business to business services, production of science products, as well as services for services. And of course, we involve people within the entire co-design chain to scale it. Now, if you look at engagement of government, this is very important to provide legitimacy of your service and for you to be able to scale across the country. So as TAMO, our business is that every country where we work, we need to have an MOU with the government to be able to scale up our services. Otherwise, you cannot validate or legitimize your services. Again, as I said, you cannot have individual dealings with farmers and other end users. So you need integrators and other service providers. For example, we work with Farmerline in Ghana. We work with the Ghana Agriculture Insurance Pool and the telcos to be able to easily scale the service, because what it does is that it lowers your cost of providing the services, it saves time, and then it also enlarges your market reach and makes it very easy for you to scale. And the last thing that is very important for TAMO is that we have sensors that are deployed in schools, and we cannot be all over the place actually maintaining these sensors for minor maintenance. So we also engage schools and teachers in maintaining the stations and helping us to provide quality data that feeds the services. So these are some ways that we engage stakeholders in scaling our services. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Lilia?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, can you give a
Excuse me.
reaction on the question? How do you rely on local stakeholders and partners in scaling the services?
Okay, I will try to give you an answer. For scaling up, I think the best practices that we manage it here in Tunisia, it is firstly to collaborate at the beginning of the project. I mean, for us, for example, for making these, for example, these maps, agriculture maps or the land use map, we had very much a discussion on the field and also in the offices of all these institutions which we worked with. And it was very important to hear them, to know their needs, and to show them what we can do, to explain to them exactly, for example, here in OSS, how GIS, the experts in OSS may help, what we will do, and especially to hear their needs. I was with the staff of agriculture on the field, and also with the meetings with these people. And I have seen that if we didn't have this discussion directly face to face, it was very difficult to make them understand what is the project, what we can do, and what they can have more with remote sensing. And with this experiment, and I think it's very important, we found solution together, and we produced maps. We had also statistics, and we also developed with them. Sorry, just a minute. Voila, because I have someone with me in my office. It was very important to have the statistics. Oh, sorry. um, Also on the crops, and for the different season, the database in situ from the agriculture campaigns from now 3 years. And they at the beginning, it was not easy, for example, to have these databases from them, and to show them that they can gain very much time if we use more the remote sensing and Earth observation with, their statistics there, which they are picking from the field. I don't know if it's very clear what I explained to you, but this is one of the best practices that we had in Tunisia. And we can duplicate, of course, because it's not very.
Okay. Yep. Okay, thank you very much. Now, what I have heard in your questions, it's about collaboration and engagement with the users and the clients, and also to take them with let's say the added value of the role of Earth observations. And I think Frank also very nicely explained the role of integrators or aggregators, that there are the large organizations that have a client base and also can support in scaling up, and that is also allowing, let's say, to deliver the services at a lower cost. I think these are all relevant insights from your activities. So before we want to conclude, I have a question to you all. If you would have a $1 million investment from an investor, what would you do with it? And maybe I give the floor to Akua first.
Thank you, Ruth. If I had 1 million, I would bring to market my solutions that are commercially viable and scale them, such as the information services, the credit scoring platform that we are currently using. We are getting positive results, and these hard to reach communities are also getting access to the needed services and to improve on their livelihoods and achieve impact. So that is what I would do. Thank you.
Yeah, and does that mean that you would, let's say, hire more people maybe in marketing staff?
Definitely, we will invest in marketing. We will scale up our operations, but also locally, we would be able to engage more local partners and institutions to provide our services. Because now these partners are looking at extension, because some of them has piloted with us. They are seeing good results. And so what's next is, how do we scale and how do we expand our operations? Bring in more customers, more farmers, but the money to expand and build our partnership is also missing. And so the market readiness, going to market with our services, is very crucial for us at this point. And we need investors to reach out and work together to achieve this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Frank, what would you do?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ruth. I think for us, I'll speak on behalf of Tamo. We would actually test our business model on flood early warning systems in Lagos. People often think that setting up an early warning system should be very expensive, but we have shown with advancement in technology that this can be done in a very easy and in what we call a localized system, where we look at building it from stage to stage and not just having one concrete early warning system product just at the beginning of the project. So we will test this and also see how we can build commercial value in terms of early warning system, because everybody thinks this should be a public good. Are there freemium models we can provide, and what are the premium services that we can provide? So this is what I would like to do with it. Thanks.
Okay, and you have also local partners in mind to help you in that?
Yes, we have local partners in mind to work with in Lagos. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Mango, what would you do in Angola with 1 million additional investment?
In Angola would invest into the rural agro entrepreneurship network, which is helping to scale the services to reach many farmers, and also in their training, to have online trainings with them, and the extension services, which is the partners in the government and the other NGOs, to have more of regenerative agriculture, so that I think we lessen the impact, the negative weather impacts that we are experiencing in Angola. Like last year, we had a very negative impact on a drought, which affected millions of farmers. And this year seems we are getting to the same point. So if we do help conserve the land and nature, I think would be better investing in that.
Okay, thank you very much. Lilia, what would you do and your organization do with 1 million additional investments?
Oh, I don't know. So I will speak a little bit on behalf of myself, and I'm not sure that I can give you an answer on behalf of Evans. So I think that if we had more money, I don't say 1 million. I think that with our experience in Tunisia, it's important to invest more in Earth observation. Because even if we collaborate with the institutions here, we have seen that there's a very, very big gap between our discussion about Earth observation and the reality. More people in these institutions are not don't have the capacity to use very well Earth observation. I mean also all the material what is needed, and if we want to duplicate this experience, it's important to see how we can build capacity of people about Earth observation and use in agriculture. And also, in my opinion, as a communication expert, I think it will be important to invest more in communication products, for example, animation films. Or I don't know exactly now, because your question is so suddenly. I think we need more communication, more plaidoyer for remote sensing and for agriculture. And also, I see the problems that are existing between the field and the offices. Even if these people are in contact with with farmers, the farmers are not really equipped to to use remote sensing. There are no apps for alert, for warning. And if we had this, I think we could have better food security in our region. Voilà. For the moment, that's what I can tell you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lilia.
Okay.
Yeah, we're coming to the end of our session, and I do not see really questions from the audience to the speakers. Just to conclude on this session, I think we have seen some interesting insights from the various projects, and and what we realize is that with all this type of activities, initiatives, we are really exploring and let's say new technologies in a difficult and challenging market. In fact, supplying services to food producers in the whole of Africa. And we have also seen that the Global Commission on Adaptation has taken up this challenge as well. They have set the ambition that by 2030, I think 300 million farmers should be connected, digitally connected to advisory and financial services. So if we are in 2030 and we look back, then I hope that we can conclude that we indeed were in fact early adapters of what has been achieved at that time, and that we can see that, let's say, other organizations, donors, businesses and investors have taken up the challenge to invest, because I think what we have also heard today is that still a lot of investments are needed for development and scaling up.
Yeah.
And the role of the private sector will be also very important, because of course we cannot rely on donor grants alone. So we really need, in fact, the private sector to step in. So I think with this concluding remark, I would like to thank you for your contributions, and also all the people that made this workshop to be organized. And I hope to see you again, maybe in live at a certain moment. From the G4AW side, our program, I can already announce you that we have plans to organize a kind of end conference in early 2023 at any place in Africa. So stay tuned at our social media and you will hear about it in due time. So thank you very much again for attending this event.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Lud and Mark.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
all. Yeah, I
Bye-bye.
enjoyed it very much. Bye bye. Take
Okay.
care.
Bye.
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 Bye bye.